Today we're going to discuss how to deal with being skeptical. Recently, I was engaged in a conversation with one of the members of the forum, and they had just completed watching the video on how to feel deserving. And the question that he asked was there any skills or strategies that we could share on how to deal with being skeptical? And I wasn't really sure of what he was searching for, so I asked him if he could give me some specifics. And what he related were 3 examples. The first was getting the job that you've dreamed of. But as soon as you get the job, you start fearing you're going to get fired, or maybe that you don't deserve it, or maybe you don't have the abilities to fulfill that position. He also gave the example of getting into a relationship. And as soon as you get into this relationship with this person that you are so connected to, you start wondering when it's going to blow up. And then the third example he gave was moving into a home in what he called a high traffic area and believing that you're going to get robbed. Now, to me, as he mentioned these things, it brought up a couple of points. The first was all of these experiences were about stepping past your comfort zone, of going into an area that was completely new and unknown. So that feeling that's coming up, and he labeled it being skeptical, I would label it uncertainty, fear, few other possible terms. But that's natural. That is a part of going beyond your comfort zone. You know, if you're starting a new job, there is uncertainty. There are questions that come up. I guess the true question that comes up for me is, how much power will you give that uncertainty? Why is it that you think you may lose the job in the future? Is it just a fear? Is it a past experience that you had where you did get a job that you loved before and then maybe the company downsized and wasn't too long before you lost the job? Was it a position where you started out and you held such high expectations for yourself that you didn't live up to? That feeling of being skeptical to me is really a call to awareness. And it's about stopping, being present, and asking yourself, okay, am I scared? If I am, what's this fear about? Is it a fear based on something that's happened in the past, or is it not knowing what's going to happen in the future? Is it a limiting belief system that I have? Is it a limiting belief I have about myself? Is it a limiting belief that I have about the neighborhood that I live in? Is it a prejudice that I have? That being skeptical, as he labeled it, is really, to me, a call to action to stop, become aware, be present. It's natural response to question yourself when you're moving into a new area of your life. The question for me is it going to drive me in the sense of learning what I need to learn to move forward? Or is it going to stop me? Is it going to prevent me from taking the steps that may dramatically change my life? Now, there is another side to this. Sometimes that internal guidance system that's going off is doing it for a very good reason. And the reason is it's not the right position for you. It's not the right job. It doesn't align with who you are at your core. It's not the right relationship. Even though you may have this fantastic view of this person, you know deep inside that if you're honest with yourself, it's not the right place for you to be. I can give you a really good example in my own personal life in regards to a relationship. Several years ago, I met a woman. We moved very quickly into the dating process to where within a matter of months, we were moving in together. And I didn't feel right about it. I didn't feel right at all. But what I kept thinking to myself was, well, that's just your fear of commitment. And I pushed through. I said, Just got to face that fear and I got to go. Well, a year later, after becoming engaged to this person, the relationship deteriorated in a very unhealthy way. And it ended in a very unhappy way for both of us. And as I looked back at that experience, I realized that that resistance I had in the beginning, it wasn't just a fear of the commitment. It was about what she wanted out of life, who she was as a person, who I was as a person. They weren't aligned. And I wasn't being honest with myself because I wanted the relationship more than I wanted to face being honest about who I was and who she was. It was the idea of the relationship rather than the relationship itself. I'm not faulting her in that. I'm not faulting me. What I'm saying is I didn't pay attention to that internal guidance system. I didn't step back and honestly look at why it was going off. There are going to be times when you feel that uncertainty. You feel that skepticism. And it's totally unfounded. All it is a fear that has no basis, or it's a belief system that really doesn't serve you. And there are going to be other times where it is your awareness inside saying, hey, stop, take a look at this. This may not be the best choice for you. Even though you believe it is. You may believe it's the dream job. But inside at your core, it doesn't align with who you are. So is there a skill for dealing with being skeptical? I don't know specific there's a 1, 2, 3 step process. I think the biggest thing is when you do feel yourself being skeptical is to stop. A friend of mine used to say, when in doubt, do nothing. Stop, take a look at it. Ask yourself the questions. Why am I feeling this way? Look at it from an objective point of view. Be the humble observer that we talked about in one of the other episodes. Don't judge it. Just look at it and go, is this a fear? Is it a belief system? Is it just that it's something new and I'm feeling uncomfortable? Look at it from every possible angle, every possible perspective. And in doing that, you may learn a lot about yourself that's going to help you grow and move forward. So rather than taking that bulldozer approach and just going, well, I need to push through, practice those lessons of becoming more self-aware. So again, I look forward to skills that you use to deal with being skeptical. As always, I look forward to your comments, I look forward to your feedback, and I look forward to connecting again soon. Take care. For a transcription of the video you just watched, more videos, and related articles, visit yourdailylifecoach.com. To comment on this video, select Discussion Forums on any page of our website.